Hey guys, it's Trev from Dero 4x4 and I'm here at Druin at the Unlock the Bush rally. We've got a whole bunch of people here behind me. It's good that the full drive outdoor fraternity are getting out and supporting this, because ultimately we've got a broken government here. They want to get us out of the bush so they have to pay. There's a whole bunch of reasons behind what's happening here today, but reality is we need to protect what we've got. We need to protect our outdoors, our tracks, for the hunters, for the full drivers, for the fishermen, for just people who want to go out on the weekend. This is important. The only people really making any noise about this are the greenies, so it's time that we get out there and we do what we have to do.
Want them to remain accessible, and that is why we are here this morning. Our first speaker I want to introduce is John Pesutto, who is a passionate backer of your activities. He is a passionate supporter of your right to keep accessing our forests. He's a leader of the opposition, the next Premier of Victoria, who's going to stand up for all of you. Please welcome John Pesutto.
Thanks, Mary Aldred, and I just want to say before I get into the business of why we're here today, you're going to be a fantastic representative for this community if you go on and win the next federal election here in Monash. I know you're a fierce advocate and defender of the right of local communities, and in fact all Victorians, to access their bush, their forests. And I know you're going to be terrific if you get onto that pole, and I know you will, because you'll work hard. Friends, I'm here today joining my colleagues, Wayne Farnham, the member for Narragansett, who's put this together. Thank you, Wayne. Chris Cruther, the member for Mornington. James Newbury, Shadow Minister, who's fighting too to protect your right to access your local forests and bush. Richard Welsh, the member for Northeastern Metro Victoria, who's also down here today to join in this effort to protect your rights. You know, when I was moving around before, you would have seen me moving around talking to you, and it evoked fond memories. I grew up in Traralgon. It's a place that's very dear to me as my place of birth. And one of the things I remember most fondly as a kid growing up and as a young adult was spending so much time with family and friends in our forest. Whether it was a picnic, whether it was being out with mates, it was part of our life, it was part of our community. So I want you to know that as opposition leader and as alternative premier, I understand how important this is to you, how important it is to our community, how important it is to our state. What more can this Labor government take away from you? They're already hitting you with more taxes. They already neglect our regions like Gippsland, but regions right across our state. They starve the regions of funds. Don't think I don't know how riddled with potholes our roads are. Don't think I don't know how poorly funded our hospitals are. Don't think I don't know how badly funded our local schools are in this state. Hasn't regional Victoria and haven't regional communities suffered enough? And now what do they want to do? This Labor government wants to deny your access to enjoy your livelihoods in the bush you love and respect, in the forests you revere and look after. There are no groups of people who care about our bush, who care about our forests more than you. And I want you to know I'm down here today as an old Traralgon boy, as a colleague to Wayne Farnham, as someone who will fight fiercely and unrelentingly to protect your right to access the bushlands and the beautiful forests of our state. We will fight with you. We will walk with you. We will stand with you. We will be your voice. Know that. Thank you for coming out and supporting this today.
Thank you, John.
We're only the people who are driving this thing. We're only steering it. It's you people who are engine room. We're not doing it just for us. We're doing it for our future kids, future generations, so they can enjoy what our forefathers enjoyed, the freedom of the bush. So get out there, back everyone. Let's get everyone on board. We've already got the unions on board now, right? They are on board with us. Right, we got the Trades Hall Council now looking at it. That means 100,000 other people backing us and pushing the government to say, sorry, enough is enough. Thank you.
Well done, Bill. Thank you very, very much.
Because we need to send a message to the government. If we're quiet, Labor are going to lock up the park. It's that simple. They're going to lock it up. So I'm going to ask you all now to start using your voices. Let the government know you are unhappy. Let them know that they cannot lock it up. Do you want it locked up? No! That was a bit too quiet, I reckon. I reckon we do better than that. Do you want it locked up? No! Exactly. We know that they want to lock it up. They got an expert panel in town. I know, right? To tell you what you can do in your community.
Get them out.
An expert group in town. And the expert group said, well, why don't we lock it up? We know that's only step one. They lock it up and guess what they're going to do? They're going to charge you to use it.
Yeah.
Like they always do. They're going to put fees when you want to access it. Another tax. Last year, they tried to introduce a fine which said if you walk along a path and put one step on the wrong side of the path, they'll fine you for it. That's what Labor wants to do. So we have to send a very strong message. No, Labor, no. Okay? No, Labor, no. No, Labor, no.
Fuck Labor.
No, Labor, no. No, Labor, no. Next week, we are going to be in Parliament. And we are going to say to Jacinta Allen for you, no, Labor, no. No, Labor, no. Thank you all so much for coming out. We are on your side and we're going to make sure they get that message for you.
Thanks very much, James.
Responsible. Yep, you've all heard of them. I've got to cry. We used this at the last rally, which was on the steps of Parliament. VAC, you reply, full of crap, all right? When I ask you, what do we want? You say public forests. When do we want them? Now. That's right. So VAC! 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 What do we want? When do we want it? Now! VAC! 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 What do we want? When do we want it? Now! All right, good on you. Now, have a look at everyone here. We've all got one thing in common. The bush culture, the bush heritage. That's what we've got. They can't take that away from us. So when you're talking to someone, you don't talk to them about it's our recreation. Yes, it's our recreation, but it's our culture. What other culture have we got in Australia? This is it. And it's been getting removed every year, every decade. We're losing more and more culture and heritage in Australia. This is all we've got. We've had 170 years of walking these hills. Before that, the land was open to people. It's still open now, and it's still going to be open tomorrow with your help. All right? So this is our bush culture, our bush heritage, and it should be preserved forever. So thank you for coming.
Thanks. Next up, we've got Craig Sharman, who is from the Eastern Region Community Advocacy Group. Come on up.
We're here for one thing, and that one thing is not to enter into a discussion with VAC. We're not here to listen to the government spin. We're here to tell the Allen government that we want free and unfettered access to our forests and our Crown land. I'm not just speaking for myself, but I'm speaking for everybody else. This is your voice. You're the people who've got to tell the government that we've had enough of this and to stick it. We're not putting up with it anymore. Regional Victoria has been screwed over by the government over the last 10 years and it's got to stop. We've got to stand up and say, that's it. That's it, state government. Start looking after regional Victoria and giving us what we want, because we're not getting it. We're going to fight for our rights to have unfettered access to that forest. We have 30,000 people every month that use the Central Highlands. and the people of the Central Highlands, they need to stand together and say no. We're not going to have a national park. Never are we going to have a national park. Because if we have a national park, that's never going to be reversed. It's the last time we're going to be able to use it. So get that into your heads, because we're not going to be able to use this like we do if they have a national park. Is that correct? Yes. So we've got a message for Karen Kane, Melissa Wood and VIAC. Who else? The Eminent Panel? What a joke. The Eminent Panel, for goodness sake. So we've got now, what have we got? The task force. What's the task force called? Oh, I've got to look it up. The Great Outdoors Task Force. We've got a message for all of them. We're not going to engage with you anymore. We're not going to listen to your lies. We've exposed it. All of us people here, we've exposed their lies and their sham consultation process, and we're not going to put up with it anymore. So no consultation. We want what we want, and we're going to get it. Is that correct? Yes. So what can you do? You can spread the message far and wide to all the community, to tell people this is what we want and this is what we're going to do. We've got some blank corflutes over there, so you can grab some and make some signs up yourself. You can get some flyers, distribute them to businesses, do all of that stuff. Spread the message, because the more people we get on board, the better this will be for all of us. Thank you.
Well done. Users group, and he's from 4 Wheel Drive TV, Simon Christie.
Thank you. Awesome to be here, guys, and awesome to see so many faces I know and plenty I don't know, but a stack of 4-wheel drives and a stack of passionate bush users. We need you all. Now, 20 years ago, I started 4-wheel drive TV to fight this bloody fight, to celebrate the outdoors and everything we do off-road, the hunters, the fishermen, the bushwalkers, the horse riders, the motorbikers, all of them. And I stand up and support everything that you've heard here already today. But what I'm going to talk about is two very distinct and different things. And to me, they're very important. The first thing is that we need to stand unified. There are hunters here. There are fishermen here. I can't fish to save my life, but I shoot, I hunt, and I 4-wheel drive, and I love the outdoors, and I love the Australian bush, and we have to protect our right as a unified, stand together, guys. Stand together. The second thing that I'm passionately, absolutely, critically want to push, it's so important, guys. This message cannot be any clearer today. It's not that long ago that the Greens redirected water down to Snowy and pumped millions of megalitres of fresh water out into the ocean when farmers in southern New South Wales were walking off their properties every week, losing their properties to the banks and committing suicide every single week. The Greens have blood on their hands, and you've got to make sure you know that. It's not that long ago that the bloody Greens locked up our forests. They overgrew. The tracks overgrew. You couldn't get a CFA truck in there to fight the bloody fires, and guess what? We lost our flora, we lost our fauna, we lost bloody lives. Your friends and family dead on the hands of the Greens. When you vote at the next election, I don't care who you vote for, you work it out yourselves. Make sure not a single vote, not a single preference goes to those bloody Greens. They've got blood on their hands, and they're the ones that we've got to trot on to get up to where we want to be, which is access to our forests. Thank you very much, guys. Make sure the Greens have no say at all and stand unified together. Thank you.
Last up, but most importantly, because in every community you need someone who's strong and a supporter of you, Wayne Farnham.
Thank you, Mary. And thank you all for coming. It is my first rally. I didn't know whether 30 or 300 were going to turn up. But it's great to see you all. It's great to see you all. And we're all here for the same reason. We are all here to keep our state forest for our recreational use. Our recreational use that we have been doing for decades and decades, over 100 years. And the problem with this government is trust. We don't trust them. And why don't we trust them? Look what they did to the timber industry. It was going to be open till 2030 and they shut it down without warning. So what do you think they're going to do to the state forest? They will lock it up. This government locked us down, now they want to lock us out. And I say enough is enough! Enough is enough! Regional Victoria has been shit on enough by this government, and I have had a gutful of it. I see my community suffer because of the decisions of this government. Every day we see our community suffer. And now here's another thing they want to do, is they just want to chip away at our rights. They want to chip away at our freedoms every opportunity they get. And they're doing it again. They're doing it again with this. And I don't trust them when they say, oh, it's okay, you can access a national park. That's exactly what it is, total bullshit. And that's why this rally is here today. So we send a clear message to this Labor-Allen government. Enough is enough. The bush is for us. It is for everyone to use and enjoy. And that's what we have to do. We have to send this message, and we need to be united, as said before. We look after the bush. We respect the bush. So let's send a very, very clear message to this government. Stop locking down our state forests. Leave it for everyone to use. And for goodness sake, let us live our lives in regional Victoria. Thank you all for coming.
Well done. Thank you, Wayne. Thank you. Petition. There's a QR code floating around that you can grab. Wayne's team have got paper petitions as well. Spread them far and wide. Spread the message on social media. And we can get this done together. I can smell a sausage sizzle if you want some morning tea as well. But thank you so much for coming. We will get this done together. Have a great day. Well done. If you haven't signed the petition, come over here. You can sign the e-petition and the paper petition. We've got lots of petitions around here. Thanks, everyone.
Hey guys, well that'll conclude our video for today. We decided we're going to go to the Newgie pub for a bite to eat. We come to the Newgie Trestle Bridge to have a squiz, and this is quite a beautiful area, beautiful ferns down the bottom. But I think looking at the different people, take the politics out of today's rally and put in the fact that all four drivers, hunters, fishing, camping, you name it, we all need to get off our arse, sign the petition. Let the Allen government know that we don't want our forests locked up and made national parks, because they will lock us out. We've seen it since 2015. This has been simmering and simmering, and we don't want to get locked out of our parks. We want to be able to use it. The trouble is the noisy minority greenies, they're killing it, and they're going to beat this if we don't actually get off our arse and do something. So it's up to us as four-wheel drivers, as campers, as hunters, as fishing people, motorbike riders. It affects all of us. So get out there, take the politics out of it, and let's get this rally going. Let's get this petition signed. Let's let the government know that we don't want our forests locked up. I'm Trev, Dirt Road 4x4. Like I always say, if you like our stuff, please like and subscribe. This is Trev at the Newgie Trestle. Cheers guys.